A Calvin and Hobbes comic strip sets the stage for our message today. Calvin and Hobbes comes marching into the living room, and Calvin's mother is seated there in her favorite chair, sipping her morning coffee. She's amused and amazed at how Calvin is dressed. His head is encased in a large space helmet. He has a cape wrapped around his neck over his shoulders. It's following down his back and is dragging on behind him. And in one hand, he has a flashlight. In the other, a baseball bat. And the conversation goes like this. Calvin's mom asking, "What's up today?" And Calvin replies, "Nothing so far." And his mother says, "So far?" as she questions him. He says, "Well, you know, you never know. Something could happen today." And then he marches off, and in the next frame, we hear him saying, or we read him saying, "And if anything does happen, by golly, I'm going to be ready for it." And now in the final scene, Calvin's mother looks up to the reading audience, and she says, "I need a suit like that." Perhaps someone here is saying something like that. I need something in my life to handle that which life deals me. I need something to cope with whatever comes my way. I need a suit like Calvin's. Well, I don't have a suit like Calvin's to give you today, but I do have a message from one of my favorite biblical characters. His name is Elijah. Now, we first meet Elijah in 1 Kings chapter 17. And we meet him by way of a very nondescript, to me, completely boring introduction. It goes like this. Now, Elijah the Tishbite of Tishbe in Gilead. I mean, doesn't that make you interested and want to read more about Elijah? That's about as informative and inviting as introducing me as George the Shamokinite from Shamokin, Pennsylvania. You ready to read my biography now? I doubt it. But you know, we don't know anything about Elijah at this point. Nothing of his age or his ancestry, don't know who his parents were. And Bible scholars, interestingly, are not even 100% sure where this Tishbe is, except as the text says, someplace in Gilead. But as you read about Elijah, you read a series of challenging circumstances that define his Calvinesque bring-it-on attitude. For he did battle with the best and the most powerful of people. He knew the joy of helping others when they were in need. And in story after story, event after event, challenge after challenge, Elijah always came out number one, on top, the undisputed winner. But something happened in Elijah's life, and it happened after his absolute greatest success. And at that time, his life took a dramatic turn from being a champion to being a casualty. Over and over, this prophet of God had done battle after battle for allegiance for the Lord God. And suddenly, this victor becomes a victim of self-pity and helplessness. And we read about it in 1 Kings 19. And here we find him in an emotional collapse, a spiritual catastrophe, a life-changing crisis, and they're all going in a negative direction. He goes from courage to chaos, triumph to defeat in a matter of a few days, maybe even a few hours. The Bible tells the story this way. Beginning at verse 1 in chapter 19. Ahab, he's the king, told Jezebel, that's his wife. Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done and how he had killed all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah saying, So may the gods do to me and more also, if I do not make your life like the life of one of them by this time tomorrow." Then he, that's Elijah, was afraid. He got up and fled for his life, and he came to Beersheba, that belongs to Judah, and he left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a solitary broom tree. He asked that he might die. "It is enough now, O Lord, take my life away, for I am no better than my ancestors." And then God gave him something to eat and something to drink, and he went to sleep again, and then God gave him some more food, and we pick up the reading in verse 8. "He got up and ate and drank and went in the strength of that food 40 days and 40 nights to Horeb, the mount of God. At that place he came to a cave and spent the night there. Then the word of the Lord came to him, saying, 'What are you doing here, Elijah?' And he answered,